When I fell for my first crush, I fell hard. Literally, I fell hard. No, really, I fell off the bleachers. It was my sophomore year in high school when I developed my first fangirl crush, and all the odds were against me. I wasn't allowed to date. I was terribly shy when it came to boys. I was told not to have any orgies. And all the experiences with romance I ever got was from the movies I was obsessed with. Can't Buy Me Love, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, Die Hard. His name was Rob. He was a year ahead of me. He was popular, athletic, awesome, pale. He was like butt crack pale. I mean, he was very pale. So he was my favorite Irishman. So I nicknamed him Bobby. It was code for redhead I'd like to bed. So the Catholic high school we attended wasn't nearly as big as the public high school that my mother had forbidden me from attending. Something around the reasons of not wanting to be a grandmother at 16 or something like that. So the Catholic high school that we attended had about 500 people, including faculty. So it made it easier for me to manipulate chance encounters with Bobby. I'd like to call it weaving the loom of fate, but I guess some people called it stalking. So my first attempt of seduction was when I had commandeered a lounge area near the locker room, and I had displayed all my items, my varsity jacket, my trapper keeper, my water, all over every available space, just so that my raw magnetism would win Bobby over. That or this very extensive scent of CK1 perfume. So knowing full well that Bobby would pass by on his way to baseball practice, I had sprawled myself against the sofa, right? So I had unloosened my polo shirt. Catholic girls have that skirt, so I hiked that up a little bit more. So the love seat, I just sprawled. And I tried to strike this sexy yet casual pose, only I looked more like a fat cat on a skinny sill, or a patient on a gurney, like awaiting for his colonoscopy. I didn't know what I was doing. So when I was thinking about all my moves for Bobby, I was wondering, what will I do that would really attract him, right? So aside from my skirt hiking, I came up with things to do. But since he was taking a long-ass time in the locker room, I had to stall. So now my guilty conscience was, I'm Catholic. I should be focusing on my studies, not on boys, right? So when Bobby finally emerged from that locker room, I had held up my teen magazine, and I peeked over the perfume sample. And just like those cheesy 80s movies, I was like a spy. I was like, I think that's Bobby. Yes, it is. I have no idea what I'm going to say to him. So he came over and he peacocked his way over to me. And then he grabbed my magazine and he said, "Thanks, I needed something to read on my way home." Stunned, "Holy crap, you're talking to me." I responded with, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're welcome, thank you, come back again." Like I was working for 7-Eleven. So the next time we had an encounter, I engineered a move, because that's what you do when you're 16 years old and you're a stalker. So in the stairway, I hiked up my skirt a little bit more. At this point, the nuns at my school had high blood pressure because of it, right? So I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything in my hands, because I really wanted him to grope me. So I put my hair in a ponytail, and I got myself ready. So when Bobby turned the corner, I looked down at him because he was on his way to Spanish. I was on my way down to social studies. He grabbed a pen from my ear, and he said, "Thanks, I needed this one." I was really mastering this seduction thing. Wow. So after lunch, I had to do one more encounter, right? Like I had to seal the deal, right? We were practically married. I had China set, all planned out. So because I knew where his locker was, stalker, I passed by. And in my mind, I was thinking of all those 80s movies, right? Where we're on the floor laughing because we had just dropped something and we fall passionately and madly in love with each other. Yeah, no, it didn't happen that way. So in all my excitement, when he smiled, it got me all sorts of messed up that when I hit his binder, it hit the kid back right behind him. The kid was a nerd, okay? I felt bad. My love now hurt somebody. The reason why he didn't laugh, and normally he laughs after interactions, is because the dean was directly behind me. We were handed detention slips. Ready? For lollygagging and disruption. Okay? I've never been to detention before. The prompt on the chalkboard said, 1,000-word essay. I know. Reasons I will not return to detention. What a great hour that's going to be. I got to detention and tried to get there early because the nerd in me, I didn't know. Bobby and his friends came late. They were pros at detention. Half an hour in, the dean who was watching us left. I started getting spitballs in my direction, right? I didn't realize who it was from. It was from Bobby. Bobby was trying to vie for my attention. Paper airplane came my way. I thought it was going to hit me in the boob. It fell on the floor. When I opened the note, it says, "You going to the baseball game?" Holy crap, it's like he's asking me out. Sorta. I didn't get a chance to respond because the dean came back and pulled all the baseball players. I was the only one left. Way to dole out that punishment equally, right? So now I had to come up with a reason why I wouldn't be at the school and why I would be at the baseball game to my parents. So I had to find change to use the pay phone. So I called my mom and I said, "Hey, I'm not going to be at the school. We're going to do a project at the baseball field. We're reading Catcher in the Rye." So I get to the baseball field and of course, like clockwork, I get a large pretzel and a small soda. I'm looking desperately for Bobby, but he's out on the field. We had locked eyes at this point. We were going to get married. So I found a place on the bleachers, getting ready for the game, but this very big guy was in front of me, so I couldn't see. So I moved up a bleacher step. Of course, I had someone taller there, so I moved up one. It got to the point where I just needed a clear eye line to see my little slugger. So I was on the very top. The game went on well, right? They do things like running bases. I think there's home runs, whatever. I mean, he really sucked, right? He just was cute. So at the end of the game, the two teams exchanged. They shook their hands and they did all that. Bobby then yelled, "Hey, Liezel!" Now my heart was racing. Because during the game, I was like thinking about what to name our children. Would they have pale ass skin? Would they be half Asian? So not thinking, my head in the clouds, I put my foot over thinking there was a step there. And I fell face to the dirt. I didn't realize I was going skydiving. You knew it's bad when the lady in the bleacher was like, "Oh, girl, that must have hurt." And she was a soccer mom. So when Bobby had come over to me, I didn't know what to say. So I had to come up with something clever. So I said, "Safe." But it wasn't like the umpires did it. I said safe because I actually held on to my soda during that fall. And it's crazy because Bobby and I never dated, we never kissed, we never did anything like that, but we just had fun. And he ended up being that kleptomaniac who just kept stealing my shit. Thank you.